Holy hell, there's $35 seats right there. Right there. Plenty of good seats available.
It was a funeral. A.A. Wilson and Dana Bonner came onto the floor for the most important games of their life and were met with silence. Thousands of empty seats looked back at them. A red sea of apathy. This wasn't simply an embarrassment. It was a reckoning. The WNBA had a harsh wake-up call that shook the league to its core. And the question everyone is asking is if they brought this on themselves.
If the Fever and Caitlin Clark was playing in a finals game, let's say against the Mercury, with all that drama around there, would there be a single ticket less than $300? Now, I mean, honestly, a single ticket less than $300. I don't think so. I think you'd have courtside seats go for $5,000. If Caitlin Clark was playing, if she was in these finals along with the Fever.
What should have been Wilson and Bonner's crowning achievement became the subject of heated public discussion and humiliation. They had clawed their way to the final, only to be met by awkward quiet and the harsh reality of their league's popularity. The WNBA promised growth and respect, but at the most important event of the year, it felt like they had retreated a decade overnight. It wasn't just about the vacant seats. It was about feeling abandoned. It was a shattering conclusion that the league's newfound momentum was never intended for the league as a whole, but rather for one guy who had been overlooked. So, where will the WNBA go from here? This finals tragedy is an enormous red flag. It demonstrates that the league's basis is far weaker than the record-breaking regular season indicated. They have a decision to make. They can either continue to pretend that the Caitlin Clark impact is a sideshow, or they can accept the fact that she is a generational talent who is single-handedly keeping the league relevant. They can either kowtow to the small hardcore following or embrace the mainstream appeal, which will eventually make the WNBA profitable and secure, because another final series in a dead town will be more than simply embarrassing. It could signal the beginning of the end. The fans, or lack thereof, had already spoken. Ticket websites have become a ghost town. You could enter the WNBA Finals for as low as $35. Let that sink in. $35 for the championship. You're undoubtedly paying more for parking at an NFL game. There were huge sections with unoccupied chairs. A visual condemnation of the league's catastrophic failure. This wasn't simply a marketing blunder. This was a complete rejection from the public. Dana Bonner, a determined competitor, did not hold back her rage. In the post-game news conference, the arena's stillness was replaced by her rage. She stated, "You labor your entire career for times like this, and all you can hope is that people care enough to attend." That single phrase accurately described the grief and humiliation. However, some people are unwilling to hear the harsh facts. Perhaps people did care, and the league and some of its players spent the entire season convincing those new fans that their enthusiasm was unfounded. Remember the story. It is not only about one player. We have been here. Respect the game. It was a statement of resistance to the so-called Caitlin Clark bandwagon. But what they didn't grasp was that you can't disrespect a new audience and then expect them to stick around once their star is left. They referred to the new fans as casuals and plastics, only to discover that the casuals were the ones who paid the bills. Is it a harsh lesson in being careful what you hope for? Please let me know in the comments. Let's look at the cold, hard facts. One internet poll posed a basic question. Will you be unable to stop watching the series? A mere 4% of responders replied yes. 96% said hell no. If that's not a catastrophic failure, I'm not sure what is. The league's own players recognized in real time that the hoopla was a fragile bubble that had burst, leaving them standing in the ruins. The justifications began flying. Pundits blame marketing. The league attempted to push the famous franchises angle, but fans were not buying it. They wanted drama. They wanted storylines. They wanted the explosive energy that Caitlin Clark brought to every game. Let us be brutally honest. If Caitlin Clark and the Fever reached the final, would there be a single ticket available for less than $300? Absolutely not. Courtside seats would retail for $5,000. The arenas would be crowded with celebrities and screaming supporters. The WNBA did not have an attendance issue. It had an interest problem. And the source of this fascination was sitting at home. This goes beyond simply one player. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what motivates modern sports. It's about stars, rivalries, and gripping plotlines. The league boasted the biggest star in a generation. Instead of creating an entire ecology around her, they enabled a story of resentment to develop. Aya Wilson, a fantastic talent and deserving MVP, is currently playing the finest basketball of her career in a half-empty arena. She said it herself during the press conference, her voice trembling with rage. "We're playing some of the finest basketball around, yet it's as if no one is watching." She is not mistaken, but she fails to ask the most vital question. Why isn't anybody watching? Dana Bonner went even more candid. "It's insulting," she said. "We are deserving of packed arenas." And she's correct. They are deserving. Their talent is apparent. But merit does not sell tickets. Hype does. Drama does. Superstars do. Her words went viral, and the fan base split. Some sympathized and blamed the league. Many others, however, blamed the veterans, claiming that their divisive speech and hostile attitude toward the new wave of supporters contributed to the current scenario. You can't spend a season downplaying the Caitlin Clark influence and then look surprised when it vanishes alongside her. The WNBA Championships, featuring two powerful teams, the Las Vegas Aces and the Phoenix Mercury, should have been an easy sell. MVP Aya Wilson versus the drama-filled Mercury. However, as the participants approached the arena for Game 1, they were confronted with an unpleasant truth. This was not a finals atmosphere. It was a preseason scrimmage. Aya Wilson, the league's face, was reportedly caught murmuring to herself in bewilderment. "This is the final." Her expression said it all. It was not arrogance. It was pure, unfiltered shock. Let's not sugarcoat it. The league spent months riding on the coattails of the Caitlin Clark craze. They could only imagine record ratings, sold-out arenas, and mainstream media coverage. But behind the scenes, a new story was developing. A story of jealousy, gatekeeping, and veterans who appeared disgruntled by the very attention that was finally making them relevant. They sought attention, but only on their terms. Then the playoffs happened. Caitlin Clark and the Fever were out. And suddenly, the Emperor had no